everyone, and welcome to the second edition of BridgeBrains. I am your host, Nintles, and here we have J-Chippers.
Do you want to restart that?
I was told I was here for BrainWatching.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Is it Cryptcast?
Fuck it, let's keep rolling. That was my intro right there. Oh fuck, am I in the wrong set? Damn it! God damn it!
Okay, this is not Cryptcast. This is actually BrainWatching.
That's
No,
what
you
you're
didn't even
doing.
say that. You said, welcome to BridgeBrains. I'm like,
Fuck it. We're live. Let's go.
let's go.
All right.
Let's keep going.
All right, welcome to the second episode of BrainWatching. I am your host, Nintles, and here we have J-Chippers.
Hello.
We also have Wildcard.
I am ignorant.
Say Overseer.
I found the food.
He found the food. And also Cubical Wings.
Where's the food? I don't care about it.
Fuck.
He's like, don't worry about it.
Alright, so I'm not going to be talking that much in this episode because I currently have a sore throat, but I will still be giving out the topics. So let's begin with we're going to begin with the Funimation and Crunchyroll split that currently happened.
Yeah. So what I know so far is that it doesn't take an effect until November 9th. So they still have a bit until everything comes to a close with their partnership. But basically Funimation is going to be dropping from Crunchyroll and Verve, which really sucks. Like,
So
I don't know what to feel exactly about it because Crunchyroll and Funimation never really had any problems. It's that Sony, Funimation's owners now.
Yeah.
Sony owns Funimation?
Yeah, they purchased it a while ago.
Huh, I didn't know that.
But Sony was actually the one that enacted this split.
Ah.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony's a bit of a piece of shit company in my opinion, but go
Oh,
on.
shit. They took down Assault at Work review when they don't even own the fucking thing. It's like, what?
Sony Music Japan and
Yeah.
just Sony in general is crazy, but like,
Yeah, Sony in
aside
general.
but aside from that, they're basically going to be taking off their shows off of Crunchyroll that they did, like the dub of.
What?
But but Funimation will still have like shows that Crunchyroll helped them out with. But Funimation has their own streaming service.
Right.
And Crunchyroll is a huge fucking streaming service, and Funimation's no longer gonna be on Verve, which Verve hosts a shit ton of like streaming services all in one.
I bet that's why they're doing it. Sony's trying to undermine Crunchyroll with Funimation's streaming service, probably. From the sounds of it.
I feel it might have been like a domino effect, especially with the High Guardian Spice controversy. A lot of people actually noted that Crunchyroll is actually a very outdated service. They're still using Flash. Flash is gonna be like is gonna be closing down next year. So I feel as if Funimation cutting ties with Crunchyroll might be because they want like advance more.
To be honest,
I was like holding them back.
Their video players aren't that great.
Yeah.
But to be honest, since they have like since they're part of Verve, they could probably have talks with like the other streaming services in there and get their assets.
Yeah, but they're spending more money on creating like a Cal Arts Cartoon Network show than actually improving their site. It's kind
Yeah.
of my problem. Like, more power to them for actually creating original content, but they should have actually
Sell it
improved
on-
the service way longer before they
Way-
actually
way
made
sooner,
an
yeah.
original show.
Yeah, and we're not
So-
gonna go on a High Guardian Spice rant. There's been way too
Yeah.
many videos
There-
about that, especially
totally.
one by fucking Digibro. I don't want to fucking don't ever check out his. But anyways,
So,
but yeah,
if I may,
uh,
I opened
so
up saying I am ignorant because I've actually gone out of my way to avoid all these topics so that you guys can fill me in on it. And I'm testing your knowledge of these
He's-
topics by seeing how well you can
he's
teach me.
he's
Well-
going in blind, basically.
Well, at least Digibro's one wasn't really that political. Most of the controversy that was had with High Guardian Spice mainly stemmed from like the talks about diversity in the actual trailer.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's it in general. Like,
Yeah.
if they had marketed it on the show's own merits, it wouldn't have been as big a deal if they,
Yeah.
had, the fact that they tried to use this political thing as a marketing point is what makes it such a big deal.
It's not just that, but like they didn't even mention anything about the show itself.
Exactly. They're not selling it on the show itself, which is what we're buying, so that's what is irritating,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually going to point out that, like, in Crunchyroll's statement, they mentioned that certain shows, like any shows that Funimation has dubbed that premiered during their partnership, is still going to be on the site. So My Hero Academia is not going anywhere. That's always going to be on
Yeah,
Crunchyroll.
that would be a huge loss to
Oh, yeah.
Crunchyroll. Like, considering they just had a movie come out in fucking theaters across the world, and almost everyone loved it, that did see it. Like, that would be a huge loss to them. Like, and Attack on Titan too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
too.
that's also staying.
Fuck.
Like, if they did that, then like, there would have been a massive controversy with that.
Yeah, they are I think I read that they are, like, in the process of figuring out what shows are going to stay and which are going to be taken with Funimation once this deal is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's
why
like
they.
the reason I assumed, because like I don't know much about Crunchyroll or Funimation or how their business has always been run, but when I heard about this, what I assumed is that Funimation decided to cut ties with Crunchyroll because they have so many popular shows that they dub, I just figured that they didn't want to share the profits with Crunchyroll anymore.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah.
but
Especially now that they have their own streaming service. Like I said,
Yeah, they want everybody to go to their streaming service so that they can get all the profits instead of having it be shared with Crunchyroll.
and to be honest, Funimation now, like the streaming service Funimation now, that's what it's called. I'm not trying to put in like to a sentence, but like
Yeah.
Funimation now is actually less than Crunchyroll, like in cost.
Yeah.
For a subscription, it's $5.95 a month. That's
Yeah.
nothing. Crunchyroll is like, what is it, like $9 a month? I don't know.
6, I thought.
And you get a shittier service with that.
Yeah.
But you know
video-
what I think is a better service? High Dive. That is owned
They're-
by Sentai Filmworks.
They're actually gonna be there actually has been rumors that High Dive's gonna be taking Funimation's place on Verve.
Oh, really?
Like
I've never even heard of High Dive, so
High Dive, like they're great, but like that's kind of a low blow, I feel.
Yeah. But
But
no,
like yeah, sorry.
yeah, like High Dive has like that's the only place, one of the only places you can go see Land Illustrious, outside of Amazon. So for us Canadians, it's actually a really good thing because I haven't been able to watch that on any legal service, but High Dive now exists, so I could actually go see it.
I
I've been
actually
meaning to
just
watch
started
that one,
watching that
so.
too.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I actually am kind of sad that I missed out on it because it's really good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I've been meaning to get into it, but like you said, I can't find it so legally. So
Yeah. Like, this whole situation is just, I'm happy to see about where it's gonna take off. Like Funimation, the streaming service Funimation now is probably gonna grow,
yeah,
like hella, but like Crunchyroll losing a ton of shows like that is kind of gonna hurt them.
oh yeah,
We don't know what shows there actually are.
Yeah,
Because, like
There
I
might be-
said, when I first heard, I thought this was because they didn't want to share the profits anymore. But now that I know that like stuff like My Hero, they mentioned My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan. Those were their two examples of shows that are also staying on Crunchyroll, and those two shows are huge. Those are like their flagship series right there. So
Yeah.
if it was to make if getting out of the deal with Crunchyroll was to make more money, well, their biggest series are still going to be on Crunchyroll.
yeah.
yeah.
Like, Verve is an interesting thing though.
Yeah.
Like, because it combines several streaming service, like Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth,
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't get their whole business tactics most of the time, but they're doing really well for themselves.
Oh yeah.
And to just have another company come in and swoop come in because one company leaves, that's just gonna be weird.
Not really. Makes sense.
It's not a lot of people there's not a lot of popularity around High Dive though. Like,
Well,
not
huge
yet.
popularity.
Like I just said, I'd never even heard of this now,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
Like,
maybe now I will.
Funimation is very well known.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
They're what are the
High
oldest?
High Dive's popularity is only because Sentai Filmworks is pretty small, but I would definitely say it's like the best out of the free services. Of course it's not as popular as, well, all those free services are not as popular as Toonami. Toonami is like a monopoly already.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one show I'm glad that's not leaving either is Full Metal Alchemist. That's not leaving either because
Yeah.
that was dubbed by Aniplex, which I
Actually, it's because Funimation actually lost the rights to it. Aniplex now owns it.
which I think is like fucking dumb. Like,
Eh,
I have my high
that
opinions about
happens.
Aniplex as a service.
Oh yeah.
Hey, is
Like-
anyone else hearing a delay?
Yeah,
think it's Ziz.
Overseer's Mike.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn it off.
Oh, okay.
It's picking
Make
up
sure-
you talking into, like, I'm not, like,
Headphones.
obviously this is going to be cut out of the podcast.
Headphones. That's the
Headphones, yeah.
solution.
All I have is Bluetooth, and remember what happened last time I used Bluetooth headphones? You
yeah.
guys were just like, I can't hear you. Your microphone is so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Watch what
that,
happens.
You know,
Watch this. I'm going to turn on my Bluetooth headphones.
where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Oh, he disappeared. Oh
How do I sound now?
no!
Oh god.
Oh goodness!
Yes.
Go back! Go back!
Look,
I'm
what
just
you,
making sure. You know.
what, you
the-
using an iPhone or something?
Oh god.
Yeah.
You have an iPhone and you don't have a fucking like a headphone jack.
I don't have an iPhone. When did I say that?
Exactly.
Do you have a headphone jack, dude?
Oh, for God's sakes, I'll see if I can borrow somebody's headphones. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering because like why, if you could have like those like headphone jacks, like that could easily solve that solution. Like if you're using Bluetooth, then that kind of fucks up. Anyways,
Moving on.
iPhone made the stupidest fucking decision to take away. the
Totally.
headphone jack.
Anyways, next topic.
I think I understand why they did that, but yeah, next time.
Yeah. So this is related to wrestling. The WWE wrestler Roman Reigns delinquished his Universal Championship because of his returning leukemia. This is actually a very sensitive topic because Roman Reigns is actually very controversial in terms of fan reaction because he's known for being
No chords.
Yeah, he is. The fans usually reject WWE's push of him, but now with this leukemia thing, the tone of like the wrestling fans after this was like a complete 180. Like before, like when he was coming out, he was getting booed like he would always do, but during the promo when he announced that he had leukemia, they were like 100% cheering him.
I'm gonna speak on behalf of like as a wrestling fan that's like I don't know, as a wrestling fan, I'm gonna speak on as on behalf of casuals and normies.
Yeah.
That's fine if you don't know anything about wrestling, but like
Yeah.
if this comes from like any perspective of like anything entertainment wise.
Mm-hmm.
UFC even.
Yeah.
Like you may hate a fighter, a dancer, an actor, like their roles.
Yeah.
Their character, but you can never wish like a disease on someone like
Oh
that.
yeah. Totally.
Like that is just below human to ever think that. So
I agree.
That's what I'm gonna say about that, and we can move on to the next topic because best wishes is all I can say.
Yeah.
Best wishes. Anyways, so I want to save one of the topics for later. So we'll just jump straight to Venom.
Also we're saving that. Okay.
So,
We'll talk
what was
about
everybody
Venom.
else's opinions on it? Oh, was I the only one here who saw it?
Yeah.
Oh, who knew?
So, Cubical.
Yes.
How is Venom?
Well-
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, I guess we should put that
That
up
was
here.
good. Okay, next topic.
Well, here's the thing. When I went to go see it, I had previously read some reviews like from critics saying that the movie absolutely bombed. So I went in with pretty low hopes, which kind of sucked, but I still wanted to see it. But the thing was, after watching the movie, I honestly don't know what was wrong with it. Like, it was a good movie. Like, definitely, yeah, of course, there were some flaws and like some plot things, but overall, like, I loved the dynamics between the symbiote and Eddie Brock. Tom Hardy is always like has probably been one of my favorite actors for a long time, and just the whole dynamic between Venom and Brock. It's like a buddy cop kind of movie. Like, they're just always there, and just the fact that it starts off like they just hate each other. And then they just learn to live with each other. It's like, you can just relate to that in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But I just absolutely love the fact that he's constantly talking to him too. Like, talking on the phone with the doctor. He's like, yeah, I think there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you.
How was your day? It was good. How was yours?
It's like having that crazy friend that nobody else can hear.
Who ate the last toaster strudel? Sorry.
wasn't me! Sorry. Yeah, but there was a couple...
Sorry, the only thing I really know about the Venom movie at all, the Venom meme. Where they're like, "Who are you?" And then that reveals someone, but someone green screened it.
Yeah. Well,
I
the
love that
only thing I will say about it is, there was one thing I didn't quite understand. Is one big plot thread throughout the movie is the fact that these symbiotes have to eat people to survive, otherwise they start eating the host, like their innards.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Which makes you go, okay, so how does Eddie live with that after he decides to live with the Venom symbiote? Apparently, I read this
Wherever he
somewhere
ate people.
else. I read this out somewhere else. Apparently, it's this sort of chemical that's in a human body that can also be found in chocolates.
What?
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 So he's a chocoholic.
So apparently, now Eddie Brock only lives off chocolate Hot Pockets.
Is that in the movie?
That is in the movie, because in the last thing, it's like, so, what's Kraven there, buddy? Hot Pockets and chocolate. Okay, then. But, like, I mean, he also still eats cream.
Yeah, I thought that would be the solution. Where
movie
it's
was
just like, well, I
sponsored
guess
by-
we've got it. I've got to. It looks like you've got to eat people, so you don't eat me. It looks like we're gonna have to eat bad people now. I thought that was.
Yeah, that was the other thing, too. Is like, in the exact same conversation, it's like, we cannot just eat people. It's just not it's what we do. They walk into a shop trying to get the chocolate, and the robber walks in, and Brock goes around the corner. It's like, yeah, we'll eat him. It's like, where the fuck did that change of heart come from? It's just a robber, man.
It sounds like this movie was sponsored by Hot Pockets and Hershey's. But
Hot Pockets.
I can only
I'm
eat them to
kind of
survive.
craving a
That would
chocolate
be a
hot
good
pocket
endorsement.
right now.
Was there any other like
why would you
sponsored
ruin a
like
perfectly good
brand,
chocolate?
brand
Ninjas?
placement there in that movie?
Well, I mean, they did actually do an interesting advertisement, because, like, you know how in a movie there's always the end credits?
yeah.
Well, one of the end credits ended up being an advertisement for the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thing.
Oh,
With,
nice.
Yeah, I hear that's the after, like that, like not like the after credits. That's what it's called. Like I know
Yeah,
there's a
because they
mid-credit
have a
scene-
mid
there's a mid-credit scene with Carnage, and then an after-credit scene with Into the Spider.
Oh yeah, because Carnage is played by none other than Woody Harrelson
Wait,
in
what?
a red curly wig.
What?
Yep, Woody Harrelson came into the movie just for a cameo, and
That's...
And he's
and
looking
once
like
he gets
Carrot
out of
Top
here,
or some shit.
there's going to be carnage.
Oh my god! I saw that. Like I saw that, and it
But
was.
Yeah.
No, like the Hot Pockets thing is remind me a bit of it was a Krispy Kreme from the Power Rangers movie. If you haven't seen that, basically the big climax of the movie of that Power Rangers movie is we gotta save the Krispy Kreme guys.
God, I
Form the
fucking hated
Megazord!
that.
This Megazord only runs on Krispy Kremes and Hot Pockets.
But definitely, I
I-
gotta say, Venom was a good movie. I hate that it got so much negative reception, because it was a lot better than what people were saying.
Oh yeah. And the good thing about this movie is now that
Eminem did a song for it.
no.
Oh yeah, new Eminem song.
Is the fact that like now that Sony shared Spider-Man universe can still be a thing, including that new Kraven movie, Kraven the Hunter. Apparently will feature Spider-Man in the film.
Is Sony like the Disney of Japan? 'Cause they were involved with Funimation, and now they're involved with the DC universe and whatever this is, Marvel universe.
Japanese Disney.
It's like,
Japanese Disney.
what aren't they involved in?
know-
They own PlayStation.
Dude, like Sony owns all of anime almost.
Almost. Not.
You know,
Oh,
They're gonna fucking own every anime one
I guess
day.
that's how they got Cells at Work to get. I didn't realize they were involved in that.
okay. Nintel's important question. Does he say that Spider-Man's going to be in the movie, or is it that thing where he's just like, it's a possibility?
It's a possibility. It's a rumor right now. But
Yeah, that's.
If they did do that, would it be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or do you think they'd reintroduce?
I think it would be a Tom Holland Spider-Man, possibly,
Yeah.
but I'm
Because
not
I really
sure.
hope that this new what's it called? The new one, Home.
The new one is gonna be
Far From Home?
Far from home. Yeah. I hope that's not his last like appearance, because
Hopefully not.
like I feel like that they could definitely get some more good stuff out of it.
Like,
I want-
honestly, I'm
Sorry.
really confused on what Sony really wants to do. They're like very two-faced on
Actually,
Spider-Man.
I know it wasn't really on
Just
our whole
like
roster of
Disney.
things to talk about, but did anybody hear that Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be in Far From Home?
Oh, cool.
What?
He's going to be I don't know what's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal, Spider-Man. Just searching up really quick. He's playing villain Mysterio.
Oh, nice.
Huh.
Oh, finally, we're gonna get an on-screen Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember for Homecoming, they were just like, we want to do a Spider-Man villain that hasn't been seen on the big screen before. Like, why not Mysterio? Why'd you choose Vulture? Because, like, Mysterio's like the top 3 Spider-Man villains: Green Goblin, Venom, and Mysterio.
Yeah.
Well, what
I
about
think-
Shocker?
Well, he was in it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
Shocker
Shocker.
was in Homecoming. I forgot because he wasn't even wearing that fucking costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go round. I'm the shocker. I shock people.
But yeah, they should have done. Sorry.
Said Batman.
This fuck. The what was it? The Kraven?
Kraven.
Craven.
They're gonna like. They're gonna put him in that movie, the Kraven movie, like of all villains, not like the Sinister Six movie that they're doing.
If they do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what.
Excuse me.
Because I don't like it. Just oh God, how do I explain this? There was this whole thing of Sony wanting to do a Spider-Man universe, but
Yeah.
since they gave Spider-Man to Marvel, they're just like, okay, we're going to keep him. Like, I swear that was the thing where they're like, we're going to make a Spider-Verse, but without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Was that
And
like
that's-
going to run off the like the Amazing Spider-Man ones with Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, that was the original plan.
Yeah.
And then the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think, didn't meet sales
Yeah.
expectations, and they had to cut that franchise short, so that's why they gave Spider-Man to Marvel for the cinematic universe. But they were just like, okay, we can give you Spider-Man, but we still get to keep everything else. So,
Yeah, that could actually be interesting.
Yeah.
no, that's not, I don't, because okay, you're going to make a Spider-Man universe, so you're going to give all the villains their own movie. That's not a sustainable cinematic universe, because
Yeah.
how many times can you keep redoing the plot of the main character is a villain, but then they have to fight an even badder villain at the end. Like,
Yeah.
you can't make
Or they
multiple
don't.
movies about that. You need
Hey guys, you remember Spider-Man 3? Yeah, we had like 3 villains in that. Well, what are we gonna do with Spider-Man 2? Well, I was thinking maybe we'd do the exact same thing, you know? I heard that movie went pretty well.
But no, what I was saying was the fact that they had given Spider-Man to Marvel, but they still wanted to do a Spider-Man universe. Like they made a Spider-Man kind of thing without actually having Spider-Man in it.
yes.
That would be kind of cool.
No, it would. It's
Listen.
I don't
you
think this
need
is good.
Spider-Man in a Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Well,
You can't have a fucking Venom movie, a Sinister Six movie. I think they're gonna make an Aunt May movie. They talked about that. You can't have those movies
An
without
Aunt-
Spider-Man.
Go back there. An Aunt May movie?
Yes, I'm not kidding.
What?
The origins of Aunt May.
Apparently, they were gonna make him like this was before like this was like they were talking about this after Amazing Spider-Man 2 was out, but they haven't talked about it in a while, so I'm not like they wanted to make an Aunt May movie, and it was gonna be like when she was in when she was younger, and they were gonna make her a spy and all
what?
this dumb
Are they going to be
shit.
making like parents' origin movies now?
Yes.
Man's parents, how they became rich before they
Aunt
got.
May.
Hey, mine's
Aunt
Evan
May,
Smith.
secret agent.
You think I'm joking? Look it up. They were going to make an Aunt May spy movie.
But let me.
Where she
What is
God.
this, Encyclopedia Dramatica now? Like, what the fuck? They're just making this shit up now.
And they were just, they want to, they have one franchise. Like, again, cinematic universes, every studio wants to do it now. It's the big thing. It's a way to make, they think it's an easy way to make money. But Sony, like, give the other studios credit. At least they're taking multiple franchises and trying to put them together. Sony has one franchise, comic book franchise, Spider-Man. And they're going to try and squeeze an entire cinematic universe out of that one franchise.
Okay, let me speak.
Like, here's the thing. Into the Spider-Verse, I'm okay with that because it's trying to be its own thing, like creating original characters and stuff like that. But the thing about the Sony shared Spider-Verse, if they don't have the Tom Holland Spider-Man or an original Spider-Man, it's gonna be a disaster. So
Exactly.
they need to incorporate it into the MCU somehow.
Yeah.
Like, somehow they have to do
Can I
it.
have a turn?
sorry.
And it's to you.
So, 2 points now. The whole making every other character have an origin story, the Aunt May thing, it's kind of like that's the whole problem with Star Wars. Like, when every little character has a story of grandeur, it's like you completely lose touch with everything. Like, even that freaking ice cream guy in the what was it, Empire Strikes Back has a fan base now.
Wait,
And it's
what?
like,
Oh yeah,
Wait.
Oh my god, I gotta tell you guys of that. Go for it. Wildcard, if you actually can find a picture of it, you can just throw it into the BridgeBrains. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I went to a convention last year, and I was just walking around, like, hanging out with buddies, and all of a sudden, like, 5 guys in orange jumpsuits carrying these ice cream machines came running around the corner in a big line. I'm like wondering, what the fuck is that? It took me a second. Once they went around the corner, I got what they were doing. It was the funny, and I tried finding them again, but they only ran through the convention once.
Oh
not
my
And then they
god.
stopped. It was like,
That's fucking great.
it was the happiest moment of my life when I realized what that was. These guys right here. 5 guys in a row.
but apparently when they expanded,
They're holding a fucking ice cream machine with them.
yeah, and he's just ran into the background for like 2 frames, and he is a character that in the expanded universe had this big story of grandeur and actually, saved a bunch of people. It's like, Jesus Christ, and even the little guy in the background can't even be a normal guy. How can anyone relate to the fucking universe?
Oh my god.
But back to the thing I said before that caused an uproar about having a Spider-Man universe without actually seeing Spider-Man. Like, do any of you guys? I mean, it's kind of old now, but Spartacus, Coliseum of Sand, I think is what it's called. It was a Stars show back in the day.
Are you talking about the one with Andy Warhol? Or no,
I'm
Andy
not sure.
White?
I can't remember the names. I know the original actor died, and they had to replace him.
Andy Whitfield is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be kind of like that, where, it's about Spartacus, but you actually don't really see Spartacus. It's about, well, actually, I take that back. I think the first season was about Spartacus, but like after they started doing it where you don't actually see Spartacus, but it's all about, Spartacus. It's about other characters related to Spartacus.
Yeah.
And the story revolves around them creating something that relates to Spartacus. And, you could actually take a very interesting approach like that. But
I was also gonna mention the show that takes place in the city that Batman's from.
Oh yeah,
Gotham.
Gotham.
Gotham's a perfect representation of that. Like it's gone stale the last few seasons, but or last season, I don't fucking know what they're at right now. But
They're up to 5 now.
Jesus. But I haven't been paying attention to it since season 2.
Well,
where it relates to Batman, but you don't actually see kind of thing.
Yeah, the thing is, Batman's in it, but it's a younger Batman.
Exactly.
Slowly
but
is
he's
becoming
not,
Batman.
He's not.
No,
Batman.
no. That's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne. He becomes Batman.
Wait, Bruce Wayne is Batman?
So it's more like
Where does he get the time?
it feels more like Smallville than it does like something else, because like it's basically like Batman's Smallville, basically.
Yeah, but like Gotham actually got me invested with the first 2 seasons. The only reason I haven't been watching is because like I haven't watched TV a lot recently, and
Same.
yeah,
Can we use
And
this
I don't-
DC show to transition into a certain DC show?
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just if I could just quickly expand on something I said earlier, like besides the whole like not having Spider-Man, maybe they can bring Spider-Man in. Maybe there's like I haven't done any, like, again, I keep saying this every time I bring up a topic, but I haven't done any research on this, so I don't know the legal stuff that goes on behind the scenes, or if they're even allowed to bring Spider-Man in anymore or whatever. But because I mean, they made a Venom movie, and if you could use Spider-Man this entire time, why wasn't he in the movie? But but if they're like, if they want to make a bunch of movies about the Spider-Man villains, Venom, Kraven, Sinister Six, what's the cat villain from Spider-Man? I know she's getting a movie.
Black Cat.
Black Cat. They're gonna make like a cinematic universe made entirely up of villains is not sustainable. There's only so many times you can do the same story of the main character is evil, but they have to go against some bigger or even more evil.
Or you could just be more creative and make him actually get thwarted in the end.
yeah.
But make it
I mean, Spider-Man's also one of those universes like Batman, how lots of other heroes in it. Like there's Miles Morales,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
So that's what doesn't make sense to me. How can they not be able to use Spider-Man, like not have the rights to Spider-Man, but have the rights to Spider-Man's villains? Like,
Yeah.
how do they get one character, not the entire franchise?
There could be a possibility they could bring like one of the alternative Spider-Mans, like that Scarlet Spider one, like I forgot his name, but like he's like one of the alternative Spider-Men, and also Spider-Gwen they could bring on.
Just an
Spider
army of
Gwen,
Spider-Man.
yes.
Yeah, for so long, like for like about like since Civil War came out, and Sony announced that they were still planning on making all these Spider-Man movies, I've heard a lot of people just saying like, well, why don't you let Marvel have Peter Parker and you guys just use Miles Morales?
Because that's too simple.
Well, they are using Miles Morales in the new Into the Spider-Verse movie, and that didn't stop them from actually putting Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and like all the other Spider-Mans. They even have an anime girl who has a mecha and is modeled after Spider-Man.
So you're telling me
As soon as you started going, they even have. I thought 100% sure you were going to mention Spider-Ham.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, and Spider-Ham.
No, I'm talking about the anime girl who's basically inspired by Evangelion.
I thought it was more of a Diva ripoff.
No,
Apparently, her name's Penny Parker.
yeah,
Penny Parker.
So wait, you're saying they don't have the rights to Spider-Man, but they can still use Peter?
Oh no, they have the rights to Spider-Man, but like they could use him outside of like not use
The
him
Marvel
in
universe.
use him in the Marvel universe, but not in their Spider-Verse. But they could also use him in like animated movies, because like the animated movie is just an exception. It's just like
Oh, okay.
on the
Yeah,
side.
because I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is kind of owned to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whereas the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse, if they were to do Peter Parker, they could either go back to Andrew Garfield, or they may have to redo a new one. Or
Yeah.
once
Tobey
they finish
Maguire.
up this last Marvel Universe one, they may even just bring him back and pretend like none of it happened.
Yeah.
This whole thing's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think it's eventually going to turn into like the X-Men universe. It's like, hey, remember this movie? What?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Hey, remember when we just killed off everybody? Yeah, forget about that. Look, he's still alive, and
And look, he has a
the
bunch
hell
of
are you guys-
kids that will carry this franchise.
But
We should
I mean,
move on.
yeah,
It's
Q,
as if
you
these-
have something
as
you
if
want to
these-
talk about?
Universes weren't complicated enough. They had to get the corporations involved to make it even more complicated.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then 20th Century Fox bought Disney, and now it's gonna be even more fucked.
Wait,
What?
do you want to?
I think it's the
that?
other way around, buddy. The deal went sideways. Now they fuck themselves up.
You're just messing up so many sentences right now.
I
today.
do.
I think that sore throat of
You
yours
blame
is
me,
messing
I'm
with your
sick
brain.
right now, dude. I can't
Yeah, give him
even
a break.
host-
He's sick.
I can't host
You
this
have to
fucking
break.
show. I quit.
Okay, let me rephrase what I said earlier. Is Sony the Century Fox of Japan?
Pretty much. Like, Sony's just weird. Like, they're gonna be either 20th Century Fox or Disney of Japan, if they're not already.
Well,
Like,
one
it's a
absorbs the other,
Sony.
so either way, it's the.
Anyways, moving on to the next topic.
Is it time?
Yes, it is your
I
time.
think it's time. It's time. All right. Well, I guess we're bringing back an old subject. We talked about Titans in the last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna bring it back here. I've actually
I don't know. I didn't watch it either.
I've seen 2 episodes so far, the only 2 that are out, and I'm in physical pain right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna be fair here, all right? I'm gonna start off with the things I actually kind of liked about it. First off, the soundtrack's not bad. It actually is kind of catchy.
I thought you were gonna be like, let me bring up the things I like about it. Okay, now that
All right,
that's
moving on. All right. Well, no, I'll be fair. The soundtrack's catchy. I actually do kind of like the cinematography work in it. Like whoever was working on it did put a lot of effort into that, so I will give him that. Whoever decided to just change like Starfire. Okay, I'll get into that later. All right, let's start off with the characters. When it opens up, it starts off with Raven, which from the trailers looked absolutely terrible as well. Like looked like kind of a moody teenager of sorts, right?
Yeah.
She's actually one of the best people in the show. She's actually pretty compelling. She's one of the most relatable characters in the show. Like, how else would you feel if you had a demon stuffed in you and you had no idea what was going on? It's like you're actually figuring it out with her.
That's just a
That's
typical
the-
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's your typical Tuesday, have demons freaking out inside you. The only thing I will say about her is that the demon in her just seems a little OP. She's constantly telling her what to do and what not to do. She kills all the guys who attack her easily. So she's like never in any danger. Yeah, she's running away constantly like, oh no, things are after me. Okay then, you don't have to do shit, right? But she ends up running off to Robin, which Robin is the Dick Grayson version. And he's playing a detective in not Gotham, but Detroit.
Why?
They because apparently Bloodhaven was taken.
What?
I don't know. They didn't decide. Like, I thought they might be trying to go with the Nightwing route, and he's on a neighboring. But no, he's nowhere near Gotham. He's in Detroit of all places.
What the fuck?
That's stupid.
Yeah, I know. And he's playing a detective, which I can kind of understand. I think they did that in the comic books as well. Like he became a detective in Bloodhaven, caught by day and a night prowler by night. And I gotta admit, the actor who plays Robin is pretty good. He fits both a young personality, but also a mature kind of personality, like as if he's been through a long career and seen some shit. He plays that off very well. The number one thing I don't like about Robin is the fact that he's super fucking violent.
Wow.
Like, they show in the trailers as if he's like killing people, but apparently the creator said no, he's not killing people, he's just being violent. Well, he's shoving guns into people's necks and like, oh yeah, that's not gonna kill them at all. He's ripping people's faces open and like shattered glass, rubbing them against walls, and you're just
half the things Batman does should kill people.
Yeah, but I mean, this is going above and beyond. Like, it is actually to the point where it's actually a little gruesome. Like, you don't want to watch it. And it's actually making me.
But he's not dead.
The only reason why I think they did that is like, oh yeah, we can get this rating, but it's like, guys, you don't need to. Like, you can show him being more violent, but you don't need to literally make him a fucking psychopath. Which seems to be a pretty big theme in this, because all of them seem like psychopaths. Which brings me to the one that pains me the most is Starfire.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm sure everybody here has an opinion on that. The whole, Cheeto curly hair that's bright fucking red, looks like a wig, and a fur coat makes her look like a Las Vegas stripper.
I love the way the emphasis you put on that.
But
I want to inject Gamora in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. She's played by a black actress, but they painted her skin green. Why in the fuck didn't they paint Starfire's skin orange in this?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been fine.
Yeah,
but the thing was that
she could have looked great if they actually made her look like the actual Starfire. Instead, they just make her look like a stripper and just
I know, but
dumb.
The best part is, I guess we should also put some spoilers in this because I am kind of showing some, but I doubt anybody here cares.
Yeah,
it starts off when we first introduce Starfire. She wakes up in a car. They decide to go with the route of, she has amnesia. She wakes up in a car. There's about 3 dead guys in the car. She's in the passenger seat, and they decide to open up her story when she is in Vienna, Austria.
What?
Why? I don't know. Let's just continue. She wakes up. She digs around in the car. She finds her purse and she's wondering where the hell she is, and then all of a sudden this car comes down the road and they just start shooting at her from a distance. And the number one thing I find funny about that scene is, they could have probably driven all the way up to her and then shot her, but they decided to start shooting her about fucking 3 miles down the road. You guys aren't gonna hit shit. Anyway, she manages to run on. What?
I was gonna say it's just like the stormtroopers and Star.
Oh yeah, but anyway, she gets to run out into the winter forest and she starts hiding. As okay, I guess she just doesn't know how to fight yet. They start hunting her down. And you're thinking, oh cool, this is gonna be like a bit of a chase scene. Nope, we're gonna cut straight to her being in a gas station. What? Anyway, she digs through her purse and she finds a card for this hotel. And just being the investigative genius she is, she decides to somehow get to this hotel. Jump cut to the hotel. She walks in, and of course the people are all speaking like Austrian and stuff. And you're thinking, okay, well maybe she won't know the language right. All of a sudden she's speaking fluent Austrian. She knows everything that's going on. It's like, okay, I thought she had amnesia.
Well, amnesia doesn't necessarily affect.
Well, does
your language
in the comics, or at least the Teen Titans Cartoon Network show, didn't she have to kiss them to learn the language? Yep,
there was some sort of mouth-to-mouth thing, and they learned the language, which they didn't even bother explaining. All of a sudden, she's just a genius.
It would fit her hooker gimmick.
It would have been great to see something like that, yeah, but they didn't. Anyway, she asks, so all of a sudden the receptionist recognizes, it's like, oh, you've been gone, and she playing it up. Yeah, I've been busy. I seem to be a little bit lost here. Which one's my room? Oh, you have the entire top floor of the hotel. Okay, I guess she's rich. Goes up.
She kissed her and got the language from her. And
yeah, man. Well, actually, yeah, I almost forgot. Apparently, they hint that they've been lovers.
Oh shit!
It's so do you want me to bring you up anything? What do I usually get? And then she just smiles at her, like, oh god, I guess there is a lesbian relationship in here.
That's how she learned the language.
Yep.
Wow.
But anyway, she gets to the top floor and finds that her entire been wrecked. Okay. She digs into the closet and finds a guy in there. All of a sudden they break out. They have like a little bit of a... Oh, there's a guy sitting up there. He's all tied up, like duct taped on his mouth and everything else. She unties him really quick, wondering what's going on. He gets up and starts fighting her. And this is how she discovers that, oh, wow, she's super strong. Pins him to the floor and asks, like, okay, who am I and all that good stuff. And the guy's absolutely terrified of her.
Naturally.
And he's like, are you going to let me go if I tell you? He's like, yeah, I'll let you go. And he tells her, okay, so you were with this crime boss person and they are down this road. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe she'll snap. She's fucking snaps his neck.
Jesus.
Things
Like,
weren't
oh.
looking so psychopath until you said that.
Yeah, going back to the psychopath thing, all of a sudden now she's a...
He's a what?
Thank you.
Discord cut out.
Wait, what?
She just kind of snapped his neck and just went, I guess I'm just gonna deal with this now and go to this crime boss.
What if he was lying?
What?
What if you just made it up?
I don't know, but apparently she's supposed to be so blended in with society already. So
Is
it's
that
like, I
all-
guess.
Is that all the first episode?
Oh, this is a good portion of it.
My
Oh.
God.
Anyway, they go to the crime boss, and she's like, so who are you guys again? And apparently the whole plot of her is that she's been looking for the girl Raven. Oh, okay, I guess that's how we're tying this in.
What?
All right. And yeah, apparently this crime boss is like, you betrayed me, you've betrayed my trust, and I loved you. And then she's just stands there and smiles and goes, I don't think I loved you. No, I'm pretty sure I didn't love you.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's like, okay, that is a little bit weird. And then the guy tries shooting her, which somehow triggers her power. She turns orange in this.
What?
Like, she literally lights up like fire. And you're thinking, okay, this is kind of neat. And she fucking burns the room down, frying everybody. And you're thinking, holy shit, this is dark as hell. And then she just kind of looks at him and smiles and laughs like, ha, ha, this is great. Okay, I'm taking this picture. I'm leaving now.
So fucking edgy. Jesus.
All right, now you want me to get to Beast Boy?
Actually, it's starting to sound interesting.
Yeah.
Well, now we get to Beast Boy. It just randomly cuts to a convenience store in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. And a security guard's on patrol and hears a noise, comes around the corner and sees a fucking lion. Reference to the pictures I put in Discord there. Literally, the whole thing is, this is like the last 5 minutes of the episode. And it's like, hey, look, here's Beast Boy. He runs out of the store. He transforms for about 30 seconds in terrible CGI transformation. And it looks like he just went into this store to steal a video game. Cool. Episode ends.
What? What?
That's it. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to episode 2.
What?
Smash cut to episode 2 here.
Why'd
It
they
almost
do
sounds
my
interesting.
boy Beast Boy like that?
Oh yeah, but now in episode 2, we're going to disregard the whole Starfire plot. We're going to disregard Beast Boy being hinted at like as if he was going to be in the next episode. Now we're going to introduce 2 new characters here. We're going to introduce both Hawk and Dove.
What?
Who are these people, you might ask? I don't fucking know, but apparently they're here now.
What?
They are apparently superheroes that worked with Batman at some point and Robin.
Oh.
And apparently Batman didn't want to work with them anymore because they were too violent, but Robin wanted to keep working with them.
Oh my God.
So apparently now it's Hawk, Dove, and Robin.
It's
Oh, hey,
it
they're
almost sounds
Oh.
I get it.
It's like
Get it?
It's like,
It's
oh,
like-
Jesus.
Hey, who is Batman's sidekick again? I don't
I don't know,
know.
but it sounds like
Hawk.
a...
That's it.
Hawk.
No, Dove.
Okay.
Why not both?
Okay.
Now, I
So-
know I described episode 1 pretty quick, but I'm just going to describe episode 2 even faster.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and apparently, Hawk and Dove are actual superheroes from like
Oh.
they have their own comic line and stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's
Yeah.
like they didn't need to be in this, honestly.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially for episode 2.
It sounds like none of them needed to be in it.
Yeah, honestly, this could have just been a Robin series. It would have been great.
Yeah, dude, Robin series would be dope.
Yeah.
But no, they had to go for Teen Titans and Justice League.
Sounds like they had to rape Teen Titans and just
Yeah. But the whole premise of episode 2 is, oh, look, they were friends, and oh, Robin and Dove used to fuck it. But no, now Hawk and Dove are together. Oh no, there's a love triangle going on here. What are we gonna do? That's literally the whole thing. The whole episode is with pure, forced, cringy drama. And then it's like the episode ends. Oh no, Dove's injured and Hawk's gone.
And also bad effects.
Fucking terrible effects. Oh yeah, reference to that little splatter thing.
Oh god.
That was the opening scene of episode 2, and it's like, yeah, we get introduced to new characters who have no relevant plot.
I just gotta say those costumes look shitty too.
Yeah.
It's
like okay, I'll give them like for like as if it was like a cosplayer thing. Great costumes. It doesn't really feel. It feels out of place in this universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like looking at that picture, I'm just gonna say in that original clip, all she did was rub her hand across his face. But apparently the editor decided we need to put a blood splatter in here. Yeah, let's do that really quick. Oh, we gotta submit
what?
this now. Okay.
Wait,
It's like
the
they didn't
what
even-
decided to put a blood splatter on?
It's like the video editor of this original thing was like, oh, rubs his face. Oh yeah, I totally killed this guy. Let's just put a blood splatter right here. And then it's like, okay, you got to submit this in like 5 minutes. Okay, we'll get it done right now. Good.
That was
Looks like a green screen effect you'd find on YouTube.
It
I
is.
did.
I actually found that exact blood splatter.
Oh my
I'm not
god,
gonna
you
lie.
actually did?
What?
It's a
It's-
PNG image online.
Oh
in this
my
episode right now.
I'll see if I can find it again.
that lazy?
They were that
Oh.
fucking lazy.
Oh my god.
Why? Oh my god, why?
Only
But
on the
anyway-
DC shared subscription service. Pay us money.
Pay us money.
All over right now. Oh my
Honestly,
God.
like this is only 2 episodes in, and any little that I had for this series died within the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
An 87 rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I gotta watch the rest of the episodes though. I can't stop now.
It's one of those things that's gonna be like it's so bad that it's good, maybe.
No, it's not even that. It's so bad that it's even worse than the fucking. Do you ever see Inhumans?
No.
No.
Good. I'm gonna leave it at that.
It'll ruin your life.
Did you know they were actually trying to make that movie? Just imagine like an hour long Inhumans movie.
Ow.
That physically hurts me. I'm actually now in pain.
Why? How long is each episode?
They're like an hour long episode, so it's like a 45-minute episode.
See,
for-
with that kind of time, they could have expanded a lot and actually tried to make something make sense.
You know,
But
actually,
no.
with that in mind, I realize, you know, they have like episodes, but they have them in like 45-minute successions. The only reason is so that they can put ads like for commercial breaks, right?
Yeah.
This
That's
is
what-
on a
that's what-
streaming service, though. Why are you making it 40 minutes long?
Right.
There's no commercial breaks.
That's kind of what Gotham does, but like that's on TV.
Yeah, this is just going straight to a streaming service. Why didn't you like make it for a streaming service?
Your voice is so desperate and confused.
I don't get it. It makes no sense. I don't get it.
You know, you should watch instead of Titans, Amazon Riders. Amazon Riders. It's on Amazon Prime. Its actual name is actually Kamen Rider Amazons, but
Wait, Amazon bought the rights to Kamen Rider?
oh no, they're airing they aired an original series of Kamen Rider called Kamen Rider Amazons. and
That's
it's actually a gorier series of Kamen Rider. And when I mean gory, I mean it's more like a horror film.
that's like, I mean, I'm sure that's good and all, but like with the whole violent tendency in fucking Titans, this just further makes my point that a lot of shows and movies nowadays are just trying to be so fucking edgy.
Yeah.
They're just violent for the sake of being violent. There's no narrative reason to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're pulling a Shadow of the Hedgehog.
Like, I mean, if
How
you
can
guys
how can we make
it, if you guys are gonna make it violent, like for one, you don't need to make it over the top. You can get it through with some basic stuff. Like,
Yeah.
unless you actually want to make it like it's affecting the characters, like sure,
Yeah.
but don't just do it for the sake of look, I'm rubbing this guy's face over a windshield with broken glass. It just makes the film creators seem like the psychopaths here, which honestly I kind of believe now.
Probably.
The quote I remember hearing this quote, which I think is a good quote. It's like, "You can be R-rated, but be adults about it."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
a
perfect.
great quote.
It's a perfect
Yeah.
quote.
Where'd you hear that? Like, who said that?
Double Toasted. They did a review of
Oh,
they did a review of Logan, where like they talked about how like this is how you do R-rated superhero right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Logan was a great movie.
Logan was phenomenal. Like,
Just
but
makes me sad.
but like, yeah, directors just need to act like actual adults, not like edgy teenagers.
I
Yep.
don't know if it's the directors or the writers in this case, but probably both.
Yeah, directors, writers, whatever.
It's
Yeah.
a group effort.
It is.
Anyways.
Titans feels like it was just a one-person thing telling these actors
Oh,
that they got off the street to do something.
Hey, I almost forgot, and I'm actually glad I didn't forget.
Uh,
They also introduced something new in episode 2, which makes absolutely no sense. You guys see that little family picture I posted in there?
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah.
The way they introduced them. Look, it's like a family. These kids are sitting at the table playing Monopoly. Oh, that's cool. It seems like a very 60s kind of household, right? Oh, the dad swears. Oh, my bad, guys. I'll put $1 in the swear jar. And then some guy knocks on the door and he goes, "You've been activated." And everybody just goes into fucking creeper mode. Even the kids. And they're like, "Guys, take your drugs now. We're gonna go kill some people."
You just want to purge.
And then they show up at the end of the episode and like attack the whole group. There is like, "Oh, you guys have been super naughty. Oh, kids, you guys left nothing fun for us."
Oh.
I'm just sitting there wondering, where the fuck are these people?
I'm still watching Teen Titans, right?
This has gone from Teen Titans to where are we going?
I feel like 4/5 of the podcast have been about this movie.
This has been the spiral rant of this episode.
It's super controversial. Like, not even controversial. Like, anyone that likes this fucking series,
Oh my god.
Can we
Need
move
to-
on? This is actually now really triggering.
now,
Yeah.
since you got to rant about that, let's have Nintel's rant about Power Rangers.
Well, not technically rant, but I'm just gonna be talking about what they'll be doing with Hasbro. So, Hasbro bought the rights to Power Rangers a few months ago, and recently they've been doing a lot of interesting stuff with how they're planning the next season. The next season's gonna be called Power Rangers Beast Morphers, and they have been doing a lot of stuff. I don't want to spoil it entirely, but they've been like adding new stuff to like the original source material. The season that is being adapted is Tokime Sentai Go Busters. And one massive difference they're doing You know the Morpher? It's called the Morphing Brace, and it does not have a gimmick like how the Ranger keys are like a gimmick, for example. It just has like a button that you press, and it has glasses pop up. There's been recently a leaked sequence for the morphing, and it shows that they're gonna be inserting something into it, but it's not really clear what it's gonna be. But another thing is, this is technically also a spoiler. In the last couple of episodes of Go Buster, there was actually an evil Red Ranger that they added to him. And it was like
Did
he
you
was
just say
technically
Goat Buster?
Go
Like the
Buster.
anime?
Yeah.
It's
Huh.
the season. But like they have an evil Red Ranger that is like the last villain of the series. And he's gonna be appearing right at the beginning of the series now. So it could be pretty interesting to see how they do it. But no, like we haven't seen all of it yet. It's premiering next year, but I just really wanted to talk about that because so far I'm really liking what Hasbro is doing with Power Rangers right now. I'm thinking they're doing a way better job than what Saban did when they bombed back. Like, arguably they technically did a better, like Saban technically did a better job with Power Rangers in that they actually brought him back to the spotlight and actually got a movie. But at the same time, the TV show has been really lacking. And they haven't really been like pushing the boundary as much. And when they do push the boundary, they give stupid things like cockpit modes that they don't even use in battle. They're like technically like battleizers, but for the cockpits, it's super cheap how they do that. But yeah, like next year, definitely watch Beast Morphers.
I was gonna say, but it's so jarring to think like Hasbro owning that because Hasbro's just weird. Like
Yeah.
they really buy a lot of franchises or make a lot of franchises for merchandise.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really afraid about, like them owning a show like Power Rangers is already like a super merchandisable thing.
Yeah.
And they're gonna push that even further. And like this is the same company that owns fucking My Little Pony.
And G.I. Joe and Transformers.
What about My Little Pony?
Hasbro.
They-
They also make a fucking Ouija board. Like
Yeah.
The My Little Pony Ouija board?
yes, please. I need that in my life. I
I'd
want
buy
to
it.
summon demon ponies.
That's not in the title somehow.
I'm not a fucking brony, but like demon ponies.
Oh,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Pinkie Pie, are you there?
No.
I
No.
need that.
No.
But yeah, Hasbro owning that just feels so jarring.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Because not only do they have those original franchises, but they also do merchandise from Marvel and Star Wars and Disney. Like they do most Disney toys. So more like Hasbro is like a big monopoly in a way.
So wait, are they like the makers of the merchandise, or they?
No, they make the toys for Marvel.
Right, they manufacture the merchandise for them.
Yeah, they make the toys and stuff. They don't actually own the franchise.
And
Right.
then Disney just like distributes it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, like Hasbro has complete control over Power Rangers, and
So
that
this
means
toy manufacturer also makes is also trying to make movies.
Well, the thing is, like, Power Rangers is still owned by Bandai in
Right.
Japan, because
Right.
technically Bandai owns, like, the franchise along with Toei, but, like, the American distributor and, like, the American rights to the franchise are now
Right.
owned by Hasbro.
Okay, it's the localization
weird.
rights, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Bandai's another big company that's like gonna be like
The other
Sony
Disney
almost.
in Japan.
Well, the thing is, Bandai of America, if you look at Power Rangers toys now, they're fucking horrible. Like,
Well,
yeah,
toys in
Morphers
general
and
have
stuff,
gone
they're
downhill.
bad.
The
Even in the
quality-
Disney era,
yeah.
like, my god, they're bad.
I mean,
And that's the good thing about Hasbro. At least Hasbro has, like, better quality toys. Like, look at the Yokai Watch line. Like, they have the Yokai Watch. It actually feels almost like the Japanese Yokai Watch. But, like, Bandai of America, like, really sank down ever since, like, Disney bought the franchise, bought Power Rangers. Like, my
Yeah.
god, they're really fucking bad. So I'm actually thankful that they're, like, cutting ties from Bandai of America. The only good thing I will say about Bandai of America is the legacy line they did. Like, they were able to do the, like, Power Morphers and stuff. Most of it is Mighty Morphin, but they did pretty good quality for that. Too bad
Then
they
they
couldn't.
just gave up. They gave up for the rest of the line.
Yeah, too bad they didn't put any budget on the on
mean-
Morphers and stuff.
right, but in general, like toys that have gone way downhill from what they used to be.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, if you look at older toys, they were built to last, and they were,
hmm
they actually had some quality to them, and now they're like break easy.
That's like a really good point to make. Like, I can relate that to like anime figures.
yeah,
Really top notch back a few years back. Back a few years back. Yeah. But
Good grammar.
I can grammar good.
You must think
But-
grammar's some sort of cracker.
But anime figures though
I've gone
have
downhill, too.
gone. There's some really good ones like mechs and stuff.
yeah,
That shit's top notch nowadays. But like anime figures, like that move around and stuff,
yeah,
those have been not the best quality over the
I feel
last
like
few
some of
years.
these things you can like 3D print a better version than the one you can buy.
yeah, like
yeah,
3D printing. Really, you can tell that shit was just like 3D printed like that.
Yeah.
Like so easily. Ever since they started making more like 3D printing more accessible,
Yeah.
it's just
Hmm.
certain companies just have lost their touch with quality.
Right.
hmm
Like Good Smile, who do the Nendoroids.
yeah,
I think that's them. Yeah. Nendoroids, they've gone down in quality. Their roster has gone huge, but
yeah,
the problem with that is that with so many franchise additions, doesn't mean really good quality of that franchise.
Right.
yeah,
Because when you gain a lot, you lose a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of companies are starting to really do, manufacturer wise, and fucking TV shows, movies, and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, like speaking of
Crunchyroll.
toys going, yeah, toys going down. Like I remember back when I was really young, a long time ago, Burger King was offering these Pokeballs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
the
like-
Pokeballs with the gold,
Yeah, yeah.
gold cards. Yes, I have one of those.
Oh my god! Like I wanted one so badly, and then some joked on stop doing it. But like the little handout that gave in kids meals actually had quality to them. And now it's like you're lucky if you get like a Beanie Baby. It's like or a piece of paper.
They
You're lucky
don't.
if
They
you get a
don't
piece of
care
paper.
now.
Yeah,
Like-
they don't.
Fast food places, they don't care now.
Yeah, they really don't.
Yeah, and it's just
Like
Like,
the
what
the only
happens?
like place that's doing like toys like often is McDonald's, and that's because Happy Meals are way more popular.
yeah. But even Happy Meals have like I said, like a little sleeve of stickers. You know,
Yeah.
it's like there
Uh,
used to be actual toys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, even
I
then,
really
even then,
go ahead,
like,
Nintles.
even then, the McDonald's toys are pretty bad. I mean, look at like Power Rangers, like the Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue toys. Like they had these like toys. They're like 5 figures and stuff. And then they all combine. They have like a little sword, and they combine into a Megazord. Look how bad this Megazord is. I want to show you guys.
I mean, I'm not gonna deny that they're bad. I'm just saying.
Just look at this. It's doing a permanent T pose.
Oh,
That's where it all began.
Intimidation.
Let me guess, it got removed by the anti-Christian movement, right?
That's exactly right.
What were you gonna say, Zed? Though.
I didn't want to be the person to bring up this point, but I was thinking like the reason toys are like seeming to become worse and worse now, and like the companies who make them aren't trying as hard anymore. It might have to do with the fact that not a lot of kids are playing with toys these days.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Like kids are just like kids are now getting
Yeah,
kids are now
Fortnite.
playing with iPhones
Yeah.
now and iPads.
Yeah.
They don't
As
even go
they-
outside anymore.
That's a major reason why Toys R Us went down. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, they're back. They came back after firing so many people. Like
They
What?
never
Toys
left
R
Canada.
Us? Yeah, they never left
Yeah.
Canada.
For us, anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, they're still in a few different places, but like they're
Coming back to the
stinking-
U.S.
They've done a bunch of like posts saying that we're coming back to the States. Like
Nice.
what?
They went on vacation. Give him a break.
They
Yeah.
didn't though. They fired so many people.
They all went on vacation. Give them a break.
We never said paid vacation.
I guess
We also never said it was temporary vacation.
I guess I
Surprise!
should
It's not
do-
temporary.
No, that's the thing about bankruptcy. Like, if they could like restructure the company, like that's
Yeah.
technically what Hostess
Twinkies.
was.
Remember what Twinkies?
Yeah,
How
Hostess.
they were supposed to go down and
Twinkies.
oh yeah.
Yeah, like they went down, but then they got brought back because, especially because of the fan outcry. They were like, "Oh, I remember this." Like, you don't know what you got until it's gone. So when something is taken away from you, people are gonna remember it and beg for it to come back. And thankfully, Hostess went back as a company, and we have them here in Canada now.
But actually, backtracking a bit
Yeah.
to the point you were saying, why toys have gone down. Like it's not just toys that have gone down. When it comes to kid stuff, like even media, like cartoons and shit. Like we grew up
God.
with like SpongeBob SquarePants, Fairly Odd Parents, really good, high quality shit. And if you look at like the kids channels nowadays, it's so bad. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Well, I'm gonna be fair.
And-
Maybe back then, older kids were looking at our cartoons like SpongeBob and thinking that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
And
still grew up on
objectively,
TV is the thing.
And
yeah. But
I
like,
also want to interject. The only times people are actually playing with toys are for YouTube videos, for bad YouTube videos.
Toy reviews.
Oh God.
Like that's the
today
reason
we
I
have T-Pose Megazord and
Is BridgeBrains gonna start doing toy unboxings?
Hell yeah!
oh
We need-
boy.
We need to get Jobby. We need to get Jobby to hunt.
My,
Bring in the
my boss
royalty-free
loves,
sound effects.
My boss loves the Transformers toys, and like he gets like all these collectors stuff, and like he constantly brings them to the office and up, and he's like, "Ah, shit, Sean, what'd you get now?" I got a brand new Starscream. It's got oh, Jesus.
Now think the same.
What are you doing with the money we're making?
Did you say?
Now think the
you say
same
John?
thing, but sorry. Think the same thing, but with an anime fan boss.
Ooh.
Like
JJ,
I got
what
a
are you doing with the
Hasbro
money?
figure.
what waifu did you get now?
I got Yoko Lindner from the Gurren Lagann series. Look at that.
He just comes to work with his body pillow.
I don't think I'd be able to work for that company much longer.
I don't think he'd be able to work for that company much longer. Have you seen some of these body pillows?
Is that a humanoid panda bear?
Oh god.
Don't question me, okay?
Actual pose?
Fucking
You're discriminating my right.
Oh god, please don't tell me that's Bowser from Super Mario. Why is that wearing a dress?
And a crown.
yeah,
Are you talking? Oh, I thought you actually found something. I didn't realize you were continuing the
Anyways.
joke.
I don't think I can know.
Anyways, you good for the next topic?
Yeah.
What is the next topic?
The new Aladdin film has got his teaser trailer.
Your turn, Cube. Your
I
turn.
actually haven't seen it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm watching it right now.
Well, everybody else groaned. It's your turn.
I'm watching it. Give me a second.
He needs to make it authentic. Let him watch it.
There's some camels. There's an eagle. There's a city.
Like when I watched it, I was like, "Wow, this is
There's
like."
a city. Oh, it faded to black. Okay.
It kind of looked like Star Wars
From Disney.
This is like a
Oh,
frame by
the-
frame reaction.
The Infinity War flashbacks with that.
Oh god.
Oh, is
like
that
a-
the? Oh. Hey,
Oh.
that head from the thing.
It looks CG.
Holy shit! It just ate him. Next summer, Infinity War reference.
Wait, what if the entire? I mean, they don't really do the narrators anymore. What if they narrated that with the voice of that? The sand lion.
Oh god.
Next summer.
That really
5/24/19.
Yeah.
Infinity War reference.
That really does suck that like they don't do like narration
Yeah.
previews anymore.
Oh my god.
Really wish they would do
Back
that.
in the back
Well,
in,
now
like, the
thinking about
90s.
it, I do want to
Well,
hear the.
ever since that trailer guy died, they basically stopped doing it like that. In the
Yeah.
world where there's
Yeah.
in the world.
Well, have you seen those honest trailers that they still make?
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, and they've even have the guy who does that's even been done a few actual legit ones.
Yeah, he does.
But
He has.
like back in the 90s, that was like everywhere. And like
Yeah.
have you guys ever seen the movie 13th
Sorry, what was that?
the
The what?
13th Warrior?
13th Warrior.
Have you guys ever seen the movie for 13th Warrior?
No.
It's
I gotta look
super
that up
good.
because I may have seen it.
It's really
13th?
good. Like watch it, it's really good. With Antonio Banderas and the guy who plays Ulfric Stormcloak in Skyrim.
See that?
Actually, has a couple Skyrim characters in there because it's got a bunch. It's Norwegian based, but
A Muslim ambassador exiled from his homeland.
Yeah,
Ahmed
I'm-
Blafan.
it's a Muslim Mexican, but because it's Antonio Banderas. But
Antonio Banderas.
they actually did a really good job making him look Muslim until the very end when he was clearly Mexican. But
When he wasn't.
exactly.
But
But
when
I'm getting off topic here.
but
They
yeah,
had that style of trailer, and it was like so badly done
Wow.
that like if they had done it right, that movie would have been critically acclaimed and like would have broken. It's a really good movie, but it just didn't do very good and partly because of this trailer. Like, it was so bad.
Has anybody seen the incredibly slow with a insufficient weapon?
The what?
The
what?
Oh, yeah.
Horribly slow murder with a terribly insufficient weapon.
Isn't that the murder that tries to murder people with a spoon?
With a spoon. Again and again. It's a
Anyway,
fucking
Spoon
10-minute
Man.
long trailer for.
But anyway, my point is, like, what if like other famous movies had that style of bad promo for it? Like, what if Conan the Barbarian promo was Conan was a boy who was down on his luck, and then you see his mom's head get chopped off or something? It's like
Redo them and like just redo the tone of the movies, like
Exactly.
The Terminator. One woman is looking for love, but can't find
Right?
anything. And then all of a sudden, a futuristic robot comes from the future, tries to kill her.
It
It's saved by
rocks her
all the
world. It's like, yeah.
and a future-based robot comes in and rocks her world.
Right. But, I mean, that's exactly the tone that 13th Warrior had, and it's a rated R movie with gore and cannibalism and stuff like that. And it's
Whenever I think of like, sorry,
They need to all be narrated by by Trey Parker and that voice he
Oh
does.
my god, I was gonna mention that. Ram Schneider,
Ram Schneider is a carrot.
Ram Schneider.
No, I want Gilbert
Damn.
I want Gilbert
You'll
Gottfried
watch
to
it.
start doing narrations.
Oh my god.
Has anybody seen that 50 Shades of Grey with Gilbert
Oh my
Gottfried?
god, I love that.
Oh my god.
Inner goddess!
what?
Rolling it around and around, stroking the inner walls of my...
Jane! Holy fuck, this is wrong!
What is this?
Fucking love Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, he is a fucking godsend.
I would listen to 50 Shades of Grey with Gilbert Gottfried. I would be laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
The aristocrats! That's the title of the movie, The
He
Aristocrats.
should have done on like the DVD version, the audio for like the blind.
Wait, wasn't Gilbert Gottfried in like the original
Aladdin?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
was,
Iago.
the
Yeah.
parrot.
Yeah, please bring him back for it.
Yeah,
See?
not
can
gonna
go back
lie,
around,
I
it's
looked up
okay.
the IMDb page as soon as we started talking about Gilbert Gottfried to see if he was
in it?
reprising his role.
He is?
And no. I looked up IMDb as soon as we started talking about Gilbert Gottfried to see if he was reprising his role, and I'm not finding Iago anywhere on this.
Well,
Hey.
he's a CG
He
bird now.
fucking better. The movie will flop if they don't have Gilbert Gottfried.
I don't think it looks like
Well,
Iago doesn't
You know
have a
who else
voice
they
actor.
don't have that
I
they
think-
need?
I think if they're gonna have Iago, I don't think he's gonna talk.
He's just
Yeah.
gonna be a fucking CGI bird.
How are they gonna do the genie though? Like,
Will Smith.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's the thing. He's voicing him.
Will
How
Smith
are they
is the
gonna
genie?
visual
Yeah.
it?
So that's just the thing. I mean, Will Smith, I love him. He's great, and I think he'll do. But you just can't beat Robin Williams. It's just
No.
not possible.
Nothing can.
Exactly.
I mean, like, I remember, I could have sworn, like, I heard about this movie like 2 years ago, and I could have sworn they were just going to do a genie movie, and he was going to play. I didn't know it was going to be an Aladdin remake. I thought it was going to be a genie movie with Will Smith.
yeah, that'd be. I'd be down for that.
Mhm.
But
But
you see, the thing to me is they already spent the time animating it, by hand, the movie Aladdin. Why are they going back and animating the Aladdin now? It's kind of
you could apply that argument to every single Disney live-action remake they're doing, and it would be just
Exactly.
as
To
valid.
apply that
How many have
argument
they done
to
so
any
far? They've
anime
done-
live action.
They've done the Jungle Book. They've done.
Oh,
what have they done, Linto?
Beauty and the Beast.
If they do the Lion King, we write.
Maleficent, they've done.
Maleficent
They're
was
doing-
actually decent, though.
They're doing the
Lion
Dumbo
King.
one, right?
Oh yeah, Tim
Dumbo's
Burton.
still
Oh,
happening.
God.
Yeah, they're gonna find a
God.
live elephant with big ears and
Yeah, Tim
and just
Burton.
catapult him.
Dude. Like,
Oh god, I can just imagine Tim Burton and the hell.
In the elephant scene.
Just like,
The pink
what
elephant.
is he gonna do?
Ooh, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be trippy as fuck.
dude, but like, yeah, I was saying like you can apply that same argument to any anime live actions. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be done. It's just a cash grab.
Nobody wants it. And
No.
yet,
As someone
somehow
who
makes money.
loves Disney, as someone who grew up with Disney and loves
Oh yeah,
them,
me too.
Of course.
fuck what they're doing with these live action movies.
Yes, thank you.
You know which one would actually be interesting to see him? Live action Lilo and Stitch.
They actually confirmed it.
No, I think that's his joke.
What?
Is that actually happening though?
Oh my god, you weren't joking.
I might. No. No.
I thought that's what you were referencing.
No!
Oh god. This was a terrible way to break the news.
Lilo?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh
It's so funny. What is Disney doing? We just
I
broke.
think he died.
We just broke Cubical.
What other terrible movie could they? Let's just think. What other?
Well, let's see. Let's think about this for a second. They seem to be on the they seem to be doing a pattern of making live action remakes of all the movies that don't need live action remakes the
Exactly.
most.
So, The Lion King.
Lion
If they do
King.
that,
Right.
Fuck. What other Disney movies were there?
Great Mouse Detective.
Yes.
Make a live action of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't mind the Christopher Robin movie. There,
I haven't seen that one.
it was actually really good. It came and went through theaters pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those ones that you're like, oh, okay. Like, it's not.
The tone of the movie at the beginning is kind of weird because like it starts off like
Oh fuck! I just remembered Pete's Dragon.
Pete's.
Oh yeah, that came out.
What? They live adaptation that?
Yeah, they made a remake of it.
And nobody fucking remembers it.
Exactly.
It was
We all watched it.
2016.
Why are they making Lilo and Stitch?
Because it's popular. Because
don't
it's
know why.
nostalgic.
And
You know,
they're
there's a-
they're remaking Pirates of the Caribbean now too.
Oh yeah. Is that going to have Johnny Depp as Jack, or are they just gonna do like a whole new story?
I think it's just a brand new movie. It's being written by the
kinda hope they
Deadpool
do.
guys.
Oh.
What?
We-
what?
we-
Okay.
We just had a new installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise last year.
What?
Yeah.
We just had a Pirates of the Caribbean movie last year.
Last
Yeah.
year.
Like,
They
what
can't
is
be
Disney,
talking
Dead
about
Man Tells No
rebooting
Tales.
this
Disney
soon.
doing?
Yeah, but I mean, that was last year?
Dead
Yeah.
Man Tells No
I feel like
Tale?
that was longer than that. You know, I feel like it's been longer.
Disney is just all over the place business wise.
Yeah. And then they also have that
That's-
new streaming service they have.
So
So that means even more movies.
Which also cut ties with Crunchyroll.
Like they're making I think they're making a new fuck I forgot. The new Honey I Shrunk the Kids movie they're
Oh,
making.
God.
I
Why?
remember that.
With Robin
Wasn't that just the sizing
No.
downsizing?
they need to downsize the people making.
Oh
you know,
god,
these-
they're fucking making Lady and the Tramp.
No.
God!
No!
Peter Pan.
Like I can't defend what
I
Disney is doing
cannot-
with these. I can't.
I'm trying
It's
to think of
impossible.
classic Disney movies, and none of them are. and then you tell me which one they're ruining next, and it's like, no, not that one.
Can I just
Not that one.
predict here that they're trying to do a Disney universe, like Disney expanded universe?
Yes.
Yeah, more likely.
But the thing is, they own
For the
that.
classic anime
They
killed
own
their
that
live action.
now. Sorry.
Yeah, a Disney expanded universe for the classic.
And
Disney
then they're going to
characters.
merge the Avengers with the Disney.
Oh Lord. Oh God, we're gonna have an Avengers live adaptation. Damn it!
Damn
Dude, I think I said this. I think I said this last episode though. Is that I'm seriously wondering if they're gonna bring a bunch of like Marvel to the Disney streaming service.
Probably.
Oh yeah, they
but-
probably will.
That'll
It
probably
But
makes
the
sense
thing is- but
business-wise.
the thing is, Netflix and Hulu owns a bunch of those. Like,
They own the
have-
rights to stream them, not necessarily
Well,
the show itself.
I think it was just produced by Netflix, but it's still under the Marvel name.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't know
but-
Netflix had a
but, like-
hand in those.
Yeah,
Disney.
well, like I mean, Netflix is also like a production company now too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
they
know
make
that.
their own-
but-
Yeah,
like House of Cards
but-
and whatnot, but
Yeah,
But like what they're doing with anime, I don't believe in. But that's a whole different argument for. A
I don't
different
know. I
podcast we
loved-
do.
I loved Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
hurt me,
yeah.
but I loved it.
That was a great anime.
but like I have my opinion about Netflix anime, and I'm gonna talk about that in Cryptcast. But
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say in relation with like Disney is that Disney is basically doing worse than Netflix at this point at live adapting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing worse than Netflix with the. I hate Netflix live action adaptation.
Everybody hates Netflix live adaptation.
But like,
I'm
Disney
actually I am kind of curious about the Witcher one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that sounds a
that's
bit-
different. That's not an anime. That's a video game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's from another medium.
Well, true, but
Live-
traditionally, video game movies also are not good.
Yeah, live action
but-
video game movies are not great.
Well, this one's supposed to be a TV series too, and it's got like who was it? Henry Cavill and
Wasn't the
Oh,
original
yeah, that's
voice
right.
going to be?
They're making a Mega Man movie too.
they're-
even talk?
What?
20th Century Fox is I think it's
Oh,
20th
great.
Century Fox is making a
That's-
Mega Man movie.
That's
So,
owned by
Disney?
Disney though.
Well, wasn't there a Mega Man anime? Like,
all comes full circle.
So who's going to win, Sony or Disney? Who's going to
Disney.
control the world?
Disney's gonna own everything, and they're gonna make it all terrible.
Yeah, the whole
They
plan.
already are.
Disney is no longer the happiest place on earth.
It's the fucking worst.
You know when we
this
thought,
this world will become Disneyland.
that's just what I was about to say. Like
Disney's motto.
when
Destroy everything that we created that was actually good and just make it all bland.
Dude, why do you
The
think
hardest
they
choices
made-
require the strongest wills.
Why do you think they made Disneylands and Disney
You
World
know-
out in different countries? Because there's
They're forward
Territories.
operating bases. They're gonna start their attack.
no, they're consulates. But
There's a
like,
reason.
You know, when it comes to when you think about who's going to conquer the earth, it's got to be a fucking mouse.
Who thought it'd be a fucking
There's a reason. There's a reason you
Mickey
can't
Mouse.
find a Disney themed video on YouTube that doesn't have a thumbnail of an evil looking Mickey Mouse.
Or
Yes.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Especially Elsa.
Like you go on YouTube, try to find any video talking about Disney, and they all have an evil Mickey Mouse in the thumbnail.
All right, let's see here. Disney.
Did you know they actually planned faked lemurs, like the lemmings murder?
What?
They did a documentary about lemmings killing themselves, falling off cliffs.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. They're talking about the lemmings and that they're supposedly run off cliffs, and they do. but they dramatized it by throwing them off the cliffs to make it look more dramatic.
Yeah. And to
Wow.
start this whole fucking like
It's an actual documentary.
urban legend saying like lemmings are known to commit suicide,
They are, though.
even though it was actually fabricated by Disney.
Okay, lemmings do.
No, it was actually false.
Actually, I don't know.
They
if
filmed
that's-
it entirely for that documentary, and people think it's
hang on.
fact.
Because I remember looking at the documentary and it called. I don't remember much else than that, so let me look it up. Lemmings.
Like Disney just does a bunch of questionable things.
Small rodent usually found
Lemons?
in the Arctic.
Go back to the fucking vines with lemons. Lemons.
Okay, behavior misconceptions. Misconceptions about lemming go back centuries. In the 1530s, proposed theory that they fell out of the sky during stormy weather and then died suddenly when the grass grew in spring. Okay, that's weird. Who said lemmings could fall out of the sky? Claimed that they had been brought by the wind rather than created by spontaneous generation.
What?
Well, I don't know. A worm first published dissections of a lemming, which showed they are anatomically similar to most rodents, such as voles and hamsters.
This has been a. This has now turned into an education podcast.
Discovery Channel podcast.
So this is why popular misconception.
we
that they,
do
here we go. Lemmings have become the subject of wide popular misconception that they commit mass suicide when they migrate by jumping off cliffs. This is not a mass suicide, but the result of their migratory behavior. Driven by a strong biological urges, some species of lemmings may migrate in large groups when population density becomes too great. They can swim and may choose to cross a body of water and search for habitat. In such cases, many may drown. If the body of water is so wide that it stretches their physical capabilities to their limits. This and the unexplained fluctuation in the population of Norwegian lemmings gave rise to this misconception. So yes, but no.
Interesting.
But yes, they. So I was like, yeah, they do, but
So it's more
It's
like they're
not-
playing follow the leader.
right.
Hmm.
And they
Interesting.
run into. So I think what was big about that documentary is not the fact that, well, the documentary did show them dying in the water like they do, but it also showed them getting to the water by jumping a cliff into the water. But to make it more dramatic and film worthy, they didn't drop. They didn't, fall off a cliff. They were thrown off a cliff. So it's like, oh man.
Anyways.
Oh, that's one way to do
Um,
Since we, I'm gonna lead it, but since we've gone on long enough, I think we should get to the last thing, and it's only gonna go for like maybe 20, 30 minutes.
yeah.
Is Halloween stories, since this episode should come out before Halloween. Nintles.
Yeah.
This is my idea. This was my idea because I was just like, the
Yeah.
podcast is gonna go up before Halloween, and if it does, I want to do something Halloween themed for it. So I
Yeah.
Yeah.
also sorry everybody for the commercial at the beginning with the vampire. I tried my best to find a Halloween themed candy commercial. I couldn't. I looked everywhere. But anyway, I found a vampire one that'll work. But I thought of the idea of, and I know this has been done by other YouTubers. I know it was like even a big thing a while ago, and YouTubers were making like these top 10 countdowns of this thing. But I thought it would just be a fun topic to talk about things in media from our childhoods that scared us as kids.
Yeah.
I have a few, and let me point out that I was a pussy kid and I'm a pussy man now. So a lot of mine are pretty like pathetic. So excuse me for that. I can go first unless anyone else has any that they remember specifically.
I gotta think of some, so.
You should save the most most obscure one I think you know what I'm talking about with the red.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So you should
Y'all
save
laughed
that.
at me when I brought it
should
up the
save
first
that
time.
You should save that last. So
Because like I have another one.
yeah,
Like it's not
Hey, wait.
quite like
We
it's
had
not
Dead Horse do a rant already. So
what
we
Oh,
had
God.
Cubical do a rant already.
Yep.
Like it's not like I have another one. It's not as embarrassing. It's not as like
That
it's
was
not
not embarrassing. That was awesome. That was epic.
It was.
for the love of God. I'm talking about the. Are you still talking about the Spyro thing?
Are you not?
No, I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
I love it. But yeah, go on. But,
Fuck it. Does anyone remember Scooby Doo and the Zombie Island?
Yeah.
Kinda.
Wait, is that the live version?
I remember the Scooby Doo movie with the Hex Girls.
That's Witch's Ghost, and that movie is objectively best for introducing the Hex Girls. If you ask somebody who's their favorite Scooby Doo character and they don't say the Hex Girls, they're objectively wrong. But no, Zombie Island.
Live adaptation one?
What?
Is that a live adaptation?
No, it was not live action. Scooby Doo on Zombie Island was an animated movie. It was actually the start of the Scooby Doo straight to VHS movies that came out in the late 90s. It was Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, Alien Invasion, and Cyber Chase. Yeah, that one. It was part of that line, and Zombie Island was the first. And you guys really don't remember this movie?
I kind of do.
Because I don't own the movie. We own Witch's Ghost on VHS, but I did see Zombie Island as a kid. And surprisingly enough, it's a Scooby-Doo movie, but that movie does actually have some legitimately scary moments in it. Like, there's it's hard to think of a good example that doesn't sound stupid. Like the zombies in that movie, like it does that thing that that Scooby-Doo tries to do when it wants to take things up to another level. It's just like, this time the monsters are real. But yeah, the zombies in that movie, they ended up being real, but they actually played it off as I'm getting off topic. Point is, something it's actually a part in that movie that I don't think was meant to be very scary, or at least it wasn't meant to be one of the big things, but it fucking I don't want to say traumatized me, but it fucked me up as a kid, not because of what actually happens on screen, but because of the implications. I think my brain actually made it more terrifying than it actually is.
Oh.
So there are these, I haven't seen the movie since I was a kid, so my memory's a bit off, but there is a point towards the end of the movie where Fred, Velma, and Daphne, Scooby and Shaggy are off dealing with a wolf man, but Velma, Fred, and Daphne are being held hostage by the main villains of the movie, and they make voodoo dolls of them.
Oh.
And I forget why the voodoo dolls are there, but all I know is there are voodoo dolls of Fred, Velma, and Daphne. And then there's a point in the movie where Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, they show up, and the rest of the gang is still tied up and captured and in the corner. They're tied up, they can't move, and the voodoo dolls are sitting on a table nearby. And Scooby and Shaggy, being the cowards that they are, they start being chased by the main villain, and they start running around the room, and they knock over the voodoo dolls. They knock over the table with the voodoo dolls, and they keep running away. You guys aren't going to believe me, because it sounds way worse than I'm describing it.
Oh.
But the voodoo dolls, they roll across the floor, and they land right next to this torch that fell onto the floor.
Oh,
Voodoo dolls
shit.
slide across the floor, land near a torch, and Fred, Velma, and Daphne start fucking melting.
Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus.
I am
Holy
not making this shit
fuck!
up. Their skin actually starts melting on their faces.
Oh my god!
What the?
And it
Holy
scared
fuck!
the shit out of me as a kid.
I would blame
Like,
you. That's
Scooby and-
pretty
like-
fucked.
Like Scooby and Shaggy run back, they knock the voodoo dolls away, and then they go back to normal. And but as a kid, like I ran out of the room terrified before that scene even happened. So like
Oh
I
my
didn't
God.
like I didn't know about I didn't see that part because even as a kid I was just like once your skin starts melting off that it doesn't whoop back to normal after you've been knocked away from the fire.
Okay.
Well, how do you know? Maybe you should try it.
That's pretty fucked. Like, no, I would say that's pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a very short part of the movie. It's like 2 seconds long. You only see them melting for 2 seconds. And then it cuts back to Scooby and Shaggy running away. And then they knock the voodoo dolls away from the torch. And then they go back to normal. Like, it's not, the movie doesn't treat it as a big deal at all. But of all the scary things that happen in the movie, including Scooby and Shaggy being bitten and turned into zombies themselves, and also a flashback to the medieval times where an entire village is dragged into a lake and then eaten by crocodiles. All those things are in the movie, but that one tiny little 2-second scene is what terrified me as a kid, and I never watched the movie again.
Jesus.
Oh,
Anyone else got a better one?
I remembered one a while ago because this one scarred me as a kid, and it still kind of pops up in nightmares I get occasionally. Anybody ever seen The Never-Ending Story?
No, I've heard of it.
yeah.
I've never seen
Mhm.
it.
Anybody remember Gmork? This thing?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Hey, look, it's Beast Kid.
That thing scared me as a kid. Like, it scarred me for like nights. I could not sleep, and it still like is one of those things as like I remember it being so much worse than it actually was. That like even just the theater of my own mind made it worse, and it still kind of pops up in nightmares I get. It's freaky as fuck. The
Yeah.
thing like was like talking to you,
Um,
and then it growls for a bit. Kid asks a question, so like my thought was, "Oh Jesus, you got to keep asking the thing questions." It's like as soon as you stop, then it pounces at you.
Oh my God.
God, that freaked me out so much.
Anyways, mine, this was actually a really fucked up thing my parents did. They had this board game that they forced me to play. My dad forced me to play.
Is this Jumanji?
This
Jumanji.
this is the cover.
What
Look at
the
this.
fuck? Even is that?
This is one of the nightmare games, and this is supposed to be a vampire.
What?
That's supposed to be a vampire.
I mean, I can kind of see it.
This fucking like purple monstrosity with these fucking like jaw like mask thing. Like, oh my God, that traumatized me as a kid. And the kicker is that when you pop into this VHS, you see this regular woman in a dark background, and then she's talking for a bit, and then lightning flash, this thing starts like pops out, and it's like, "Argh!" That scared the shit out of me. And my parents were my dad was trying to get me to play this game when I was like 5 years old. It traumatized me when I was a kid.
Was it a fun game?
I don't know. I haven't played it. That's the whole thing. I was traumatized.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But no, like the same franchise.
Oh, you found it. I was looking for it.
like the first game had this like pretty like campy guy in like the game. He was just like, "I'm the gatekeeper. You're gonna be sent to the black hole." Yeah, hey, ever saw that?
I have no idea. What you said.
Yeah, just type in nightmare board game, and there's just comedic gold, dude.
Huh.
But I haven't seen the fourth Nightmare game, and I don't want to because that fucking shit traumatized me when I was a kid. Anyways.
No, wild card. You got one?
Oh, yeah. So for a long time, I don't even know when or why, but the Rancor scene in Star Wars Return of the Jedi actually kind of traumatized me at some point in my childhood, and it affected me for the longest time. Like, I think I was like 23 before I finally was like, you know what, fuck this thing, I'm gonna watch it again and get over this stupid thing. And I watched it again. It's not even as bad as I like, and I think it got watered down in like one of the remakes because you just released like 6 different versions of that series trilogy.
Yeah.
Right.
But somehow my child mind and its overactive imagination made the scene worse than it was. Like
What scene was it?
the
Rancor
Rancor scene in Star Wars.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess at one point I over empathize with the Grimorian that gets eaten. And
Oh.
Yeah.
and I was like,
I can see how terrifying that would be. Like,
yeah. And like somehow my imagination just turned that scene worse than it was. Like,
Yeah.
it made that scene Attack on Titan style where it was slow and painful. And it was like,
God.
it was like, that poor piggy, It's like
Yeah, I
poor
can see that being
man.
pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is at a time in my life, I guess, when I'm overly sensitive to things like that, and I've always said stuff. Not that that's ever played a factor into it, but
Yeah.
it was just one of those things. It's like, and I swear to God, I was like 20. God, I want to say like I was 23 by the time I finally sat down and watched it again, just because just to conquer it,
Yeah, that's usually how things like this work out, where you watch it as an adult after so long, and you're just like, I remember this being so much scarier as a kid.
Right?
Yeah.
I still to this day can't watch that scene from the Neverending Story. It actually still freaks me out. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't really have anything as bad. I remember
Nothing scared me as a kid.
I'm not scared.
You're a brave boy.
I'm a brave boy.
But
Denial.
one movie series that really fucked me up was Chucky.
Really?
Hated Chucky for so many years. Like,
When the movie's supposed to be scary, it kind of
like
No. It can
No,
be scary
I
for
mean,
it.
sure.
it's like it's cheesy.
Right.
Looking at that now is so cheesy.
Same with the
And
Gomorrah scene.
especially the movie where he gets a fucking wife, the Bride of Chucky.
Yeah.
That was super fucking like dumb.
It
Like,
kind of goes a little wacky after,
yeah, but
which
like,
I mean, I guess from the
Wow.
first movie, it was already wacky.
yeah, but like some of those Chucky movies, man, that fucked me up. Like, I didn't want to go near a fucking baby doll ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've only
boy.
seen like one clip from Chucky, and I thought it was actually pretty funny, where it's him like smashing an axe against the door, and eventually the door makes a head-shaped hole, and he sticks his head through the hole, and it pauses for like 5
He's like,
seconds, and it's just like,
"Here's Chucky."
I can't think of for the first time in my life, I can't think of a single funny thing to say right now.
Pretty good, actually.
Oh god, but like,
So, how old were you when you watched that?
oh fuck,
that was
maybe,
yesterday.
I just got over it an hour ago.
God, I was like maybe 6.
You were 6
Seven?
watching a fucking horror movie.
My brother had so many fucking terrible
Yeah.
movies.
That
Like, my
explains it.
brother would
explains it.
traumatize me as a kid. But like, Yeah, first off, my brother's an asshole for
Oh my
that.
God.
but I didn't start actually watching the Chucky movies without seeing it as like, oh, it's just like another horror movie, like ooh, spoopy, sort of thing. Like I'd be able to take it. I just didn't start watching those until maybe till I was like 15 or 16.
Wow.
Like I don't know. I'm a whiny bitch. Uh, but like Chucky fucked me up.
Here's another one I remembered. My brother had this PlayStation disc. And I don't know what game this was, but I turned on the PlayStation with this disc in. All it was just like this white and black background, and it was like really elongated. It was like I didn't even know what it was. It was like it almost felt like a music video. Like it was just like about like a white background with black lines over it. It almost felt like stacky. I don't even know if it was a game. Like I can't really describe it because it was like so elongated. But once I saw that, I immediately turned it off because it was that creepy. But yeah, like didn't really like that. Another thing I will talk about, the Activision logo from the 90s. You know that one with the back like exploding like background and stuff where they reveal the logo. That fucking stack part where like the TV turns off, like that. That fucking creeped the shit out of me when I was a kid. I think you know what I'm talking about, but like.
Okay, let's see what you're talking about. Activision logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the one they always use ever since 2000. I'm talking about the 90s one.
Yeah. Another thing that really creeped me out, maybe when like I
was it
like
the 2000 logo?
90s logo.
97.
Yeah.
You know, a really dumb one that I still can't even figure out why I was scared of was playing Mario 64 and like playing through the game, and like you're facing Bowser all the time, right? And then you get to the last one, and it's just different music. And he's slightly like, but like he's a slightly different color. I don't know why. As soon as that happened, I freaked the fuck out, and I just hid in my room for a day.
Wait, what? The Mario 64, the Bowser theme?
Yeah, like not like the no, it's like the very last one, like where you're facing Star Bowser, and it's like the theme that you're so used to, like just isn't there anymore. It's like thinking, oh shit, this is a new level Bowser. I don't know what it was, but it freaked me out so much that I can't even tell you why I was so freaked out, because I played it the next day and beat it.
The stairs, the never-ending stairs, kind of freaked me out because of the audio trick it does. Yeah, it does an audio trick where it sounds
constantly
like
rising.
Yeah, but it's not. But it sounds like it is.
I was more fascinated by that. I was just sitting there going, "How long will it go? How long? How long? Oh my god, this is going to be the highest sound ever!"
Right, like today, I feel the exact same way. But I don't know. This has happened at a time when I guess I was too young to really process that.
Yeah.
So like I guess my mind knew that something wasn't right because like there's some kind of dissonance there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it knew something was off, but it couldn't tell what, and that just made it scary for me. And so I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna avoid these stairs now."
I'm never coming back here again.
So
never beat the game.
So Overseer.
That electrical
Overseer.
Scared.
You have that one that is like Please.
The most embarrassing one you will ever hear anyone say.
So
I am curious.
please.
I
tell
can't
us.
defend this one.
Please tell us.
And it's not even like an embarrassing thing that also happened to scare me. No, out of everything from my childhood, this scared me the most. And I'm not even going to try and build it up with some fucking story like I did with Zombie Island. I'm just going to say it. We owned a Sesame Street VHS. It was Sesame Street Come and Dance or something. It was just a normal Sesame Street VHS with dance numbers in it. It was dance themed. And at the end of the VHS, after the credits roll, you hear a voice, the narrator, this kind-ass lady narrator say, "Wait, Elmo has one last dance to show you. Check this out."
And then this
And it
pops up.
cuts to Elmo in a black background.
What? There's got to be more. Come on.
It cuts to Elmo. There's a black background, and Elmo just starts dancing, and that's just it. He just dances. Vaudeville music plays in the background, and it's just Elmo dancing. That's just it. And
The dance of fire.
this scared me so much that it got to the point where my mom had to intervene and say, "Look, this is. Well, how about this? I'll sit next to you on the couch. We'll cuddle. I'll hold you next close to me, and we'll watch Elmo dancing together." And I just started crying. Like,
How old are you at this
the
point?
thought of watching that again just drove me to tears. That's how terrified I was.
And how old were you?
Like
I was 14.
5 or 6, I think. And it wasn't until like a year ago that I decided to re-look up this clip of Elmo dancing that terrified me as a kid, and like it's not scary anymore. Okay, enough with the Elmo gifts, please. But I looked at it and I was like, okay, I have a rough idea of why this scared me as a kid. It's something about the way he moves. Just like the way his there's something about his movement that just seemed just a little off and a little strange.
God damn it, wild card. Stop it.
God damn it.
God damn it. Yeah, that looks creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So when I say Elmo dancing scared me as a kid, it's
Yeah, that's understandable.
Like, I don't know
Ish.
why they had to do the fucking black background.
It's a little unnatural.
Considering he's such a like colorful character and like in a colorful
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
can understand.
When he
that.
like slides up from his neck.
Oh my god.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that.
this was a fun topic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Anyways.
I'm having fun.
Anyways, I think that is good enough for the end of the podcast. So, everyone, thank you all for watching this podcast.
Morty. Oh, jeez, Rick.
Oh, jeez, Rick, I have badass reflex. Don't worry, Morty,
that-
you're gonna get used to it.
Is that bag? God damn it.
Anyways,
God damn it.
thank you
Oh,
all
speaking
for
of scary dancing Elmos.
Shit.
Cookie monster.
Can we actually end the episode, brah?
Pop your
Yes.
cookie.
Thank you all for watching the episode. I hope you all have a happy Halloween. And please don't hurt yourselves by driving into cars.
What?
And remember, check your apples for razor blades.
Yes.
And watch out for clowns.
And if
Look
you
out
ever
for
see,
me.
and if anyone ever gives you an apple, be suspicious.
And
who the
also,
fuck does
don't
that
give
these days?
candy to anyone doing cringy Fortnite dances. Good night, everybody!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go now. Come on. Now bring the woodwinds in. Woo! Alright, now that's what I'm talking about. Alright. Let me tell y'all how we got here. One fine day, there was always a peace when the guard started running through the Agrabah streets. They were looking for Aladdin the Beast. They were having some yeast. The thickest thieves in the Wall East. So Aladdin fleeced them. Abu as well. When the very next day, they were thrown in the cell. Both arrested by requested Jafar. He was hunting for Aladdin like a serpent safari. In disguise, he led Aladdin to a tiger's mouth to find a lamp that was way down south. And Aladdin could do it, cause he's worthy enough. He made his way through the cave like a diamond in the rough. The room collapsed, but they didn't